Hey guys, it's Justine Hernandez with Passion Style Purpose, living life not by default, but by design. How's everyone doing this Tuesday? I hope you can hear me well. I'm trying to speak as loudly as I can. You might hear my toddler in the background, so don't mind. But I wanted to jump on live because I've been having some wonderful conversations with people, and it's been pretty badass, and I just wanted to share this with you. So, I don't know about you, but in this period, I feel like the past few weeks, I've kind of been going through this period where um, I'm becoming more self aware of the blind areas in my life that have been creating these cycles, these repetitive cycles over and over again. And usually, transformation happens when you become consciously aware of something. And then you make that shift and that change. And sometimes that shift and change is it's effortless, but because we don't like simple, sometimes we overcomplicate the transformational period instead of just sitting in it. So for me, this is kind of like a lot of what's been popping up is that I'm in this transition period, and my environment, like my office and my desk, like is a disaster. It's a complete shit show right now. And normally, what I would do is because I'm a doer, I feel like in order for me to, whenever I feel stuck, I start doing things in order for me to break up that energy. Well, right now, it's kind of like we're in Mercury Retrograde, which means that if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much the planet Mercury represents communication. So in this period, it happens 3 times a year for 3 weeks, where the communication in that planet looks like it's going in reverse. So technology issues can happen, miscommunication. So you have to be very conscious about how your words are conveying to the other person, and signing contracts, and like making sure everything is clear. And it's also an invitation for you to assess what is no longer working and serving you. And then there's another aspect of it, and I'm not that, I don't know a huge wisdom of astrology, but I know like general kind of stuff. So like we're right now we're in like Scorpion energy, which is about your shadow self, like the deep parts of you that you don't really show to other people. They just kind of happen subconsciously. So it's kind of like your subconscious environment. And so this is where like your traumas and your triggers, and so all that stuff is like bubbling up to the surface, compounded with like Mercury retrograde and like all this compounded energy. So for me, I'm very sensitive when it comes to my environment and how things, like other people's energy and things like that. So I was having this amazing conversation where with one of my girlfriends, and we were talking about how like we're in this transformation period of like you're self-aware, you're aware of like this cycle that you're experiencing, but you're being called to slow down, and you're being called to reflect, and you're being called to not do all these external things that you normally do to kind of get the energy moving, and instead you're having to sit in your shit pretty much. And that's kind of like what I'm dealing with. I have my notes right here. I'm having, in my transition period, in this particular transition period, I'm having to sit in my stuff. So that reflects in my office space and my environment, where that's like my, like I love my desk, and I love my working in my business and things like that. So right now, like normally I would go and do things and clear all that clutter and clear all that stuff, but I'm in a holding space. And that holding space is for me to really sit in the uncomfortableness of my shit, so that I can heal those aspects of myself and those layers. And sometimes that just means being more intentional, For me specifically, I'm like, let me see how it's manifesting specifically for me. It's like I'm studying, I'm reading some books, I'm taking time to reflect and journal and write and do a lot of that type of self-reflection. So that's usually healing, for people. That's a healing tool. And so whatever you're going through, whatever tool that you're being called to use to help you during this period of sitting in your shit, this is just a time for you to analyze and look at everything for what it is in its rawness, and not judge yourself because you're not able to move through that energy. And this is just a calling for you to sit in it, so that when that period of sitting in it is over, you'll notice that your body will go through this shift and you become inspired and motivated and taking action. And it's usually timing. You know, timing is one of those things where when you try to force things to happen, shit just goes awry. You become more stressed and more anxiety driven because you're focused so much on trying to move through the uncomfortableness that you're missing the whole journey and the whole point of the lesson. And so this is like a time for you to not repeat that same cycle, but become more self-aware of that. And it's just really powerful when you can, when you realize that you don't have to do anything. You just have to sit in it, and through that doing nothing and being present with all your nonsense, that within itself is healing, and you're moving through that stuff so that when you're ready and that timing is perfect, you get that motivation, that inspiration, you start clearing stuff. Like for me, I'm just waiting for you to clear that clutter, get rid of all that shit, do an energy clearing, throw away stuff that you don't need, or get some inspiration, and that will motivate you in that period to take action on whatever project that you're currently working on. So if you're feeling stuck where you're at right now, and you're frustrated because you're not getting any momentum, just know that you're not alone, and there's a lot of people dealing with this. And this is just a call to be present with your shit, deal with it, and don't try to do anything until the timing is right, until you feel in your body, okay, I feel inspired to take action and for me to clear all this stuff. And you'll notice that the doors will start to open for you to do that, versus you're hitting a brick wall and you're still trying to push and push and push. You're spending all this vitality and all this energy into pushing versus just sitting in it and embracing where you're at. And fucking hard, because I am a doer. Like I said, I'm a doer. I like to get shit done. And when I have to sit in it, I'm just like, oh, really? Really? And then I have a toddler. So my toddler is kind of like, he's my teacher of being present, because he calls for my attention. And so in those moments where he's like overly like, I'm like, okay, well, this is my time to focus on my little guy and not worry about anything else in that time period that I'm working on that needs to transition. So it's amazing how it's like counterintuitive, when you are dealing with stuff, you want to hurry and work through it and get over it and move forward. And then there's just those times that it just doesn't work out that way, and you feel like you're failing, you feel like you're missing something, or something's not lining up, and you're missing you're like taking it on yourself, and you're blaming yourself like you're doing something wrong. I know I would do that all the time. And it's not about what you're doing wrong, it's about just being present. Oh, the lessons that I learned, you know what I mean? Being patient is a huge kryptonite of mine that I had to learn over my life. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue to be learning this in different levels of patience, because I feel like as I'm growing and becoming, like growing up even more, growing up every year, as I'm growing up, I'm becoming more self-aware when it comes to the ebbs and flows of life. That we all go through cycles, we all go through really inspirational moments, and then we all go through lull times, and that's just part of the cycle. Look at the seasons, look at nature. It all goes through those ebbs and flows and those cycles, and we're not different. We're not above the cycles of the planet, because we are all connected and all one. So, yeah. Anyways, I hope this was helpful, guys. I love you all, and hello. Hi, Emmy. Hi, Reese. Patrice. Oh, my goodness. Thanks. Hi, guys. It was so nice to be live with you. And, yeah. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you're going through the same journey as well, please share, because it's always awesome to know that you're not alone on this journey, that other people are going through it, and it normalizes it. So you don't put so much pressure on yourself, and you don't judge yourself, because it's easy to do that. It's easy to throw the blame on ourselves instead of just realizing that there's no blame to be had. It's just is. And yeah. So once you get to that, it's like it feels good because you take the pressure off of yourself. So anyways, love you guys and have a fabulous Tuesday. So sending you so much love and blessings your way. So